Good morning and welcome to the party. I thought I would go live and show you real quick. This is day 2 of the party. Whoop, 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 right? So the hostess has been doing a great job of commenting on posts and getting you guys interested. So I thought I would go live just to introduce you to what sprinkles are in case there were people in the party that had absolutely no clue what Pink Zebra is. I find that hard to believe because we've been around for almost 8 years. I've been with the company almost 6, but I find that there are still so many people that have absolutely no idea what Pink Zebra is and have never experienced the amazingness of Pink Zebra. That's shocking to me. So it has become my personal mission to introduce as many people as I can to the amazingness of Pink Zebra. I have 4 dogs. Now, they're not big dogs. So combined, all 4 are probably one big dog. But dogs get that funk smell. You know, they go outside, they run around, they're having fun, they find a nice pile of something to roll in, and then they come in and they smell horrid. Been there, done that. And I don't love giving them a bath. They don't love me to give them a bath. I'd rather take them to the groomers, and that can be a little bit costly. So what can I do in the meantime? Because there's nothing worse than when my dad comes over, and you know how parents are. Sometimes they don't have a filter. And he'll come over and he'll say, "Your dogs need a bath. It stinks in here." Thanks, Dad. Glad I wasn't live. Glad there was nobody else here. Thanks, Dad. Thanks. But love my dad. Love my dad. I wouldn't change him for the world. He's completely unfiltered. It's taken me 50 years to not get my feelings hurt every time he opens his mouth. But he is the way he is, and I'm not going to change him. But now, when he comes over, unless the dogs are like real close to him or he's petting them and he can smell them, he doesn't notice the smell as much because of my sprinkles. So my sprinkles will help with the dog odor. So when I open the door to somebody who's popping by to grab a few jars from me or whatever, or the salesperson that I end up selling to them and send them away with a catalog and some samples, they don't get hit with a face full of dog smell. There's nothing more embarrassing than to have people come over and the first thing out of their mouth is, "Oh, you have pets." It's not because I see them. It's because I smell them. So that's just embarrassing to me. So I love the sprinkles. They are soy-based, so they're going to smell stronger and last longer than the wax products. Yay for that. How many of you have used a wax chunk and just been really disappointed because after about a half hour, you don't really smell it anymore? You go outside, you come back in, and you still don't really smell it anymore. You're like, wow, that was a total waste of money because it didn't work. So these are going to smell stronger and last longer than the wax products. So you're going to love that. They're soy-based, so it's a greener, cleaner product. I have a lot of customers who say to me, "Oh, I can't use fragrance items because it gives me a headache." It's not necessarily because it's fragranced, but it's because it's what it's made from. So here's the big difference between soy-based and wax-based. Soy-based is soy-based. It's made from plants, it's organic, it's green, it's clean, it's a much more healthy product. And there's nothing in it that is toxic. Wax products, however, are petroleum-based. And petroleum-based means that even if you're not burning it in a candle, when it's melting, it's releasing those toxins into the air, and that's usually what triggers the headaches. I can tell you that I cannot use wax-based products because as soon as I put it in, it's got that funny chemical smell, and I start to get a headache. It doesn't matter whether it's in a warmer. It doesn't matter if it's a candle. My brother gave me the most amazing scented candle a couple of years ago. And he says, "I feel kind of funny giving this to you because you sell Pink Zebra." But it was such a wonderful smell. So I was like, "Hey, no problem. You know, I'll use it. Thank you." You know, I was being gracious. I was saying, but no, I love the smell of it. So I lit it. And I had to blow it out because within a half hour I had a headache and all I could smell was the fire. So I have to take the lid off of it and sniff it to be able to enjoy it. I can't light it. And that's because it's wax-based. Here's another thing that people don't know. Wax-based means that it takes a little bit longer for it to harden. Ours will harden in about 3 minutes, which means that it doesn't lose any scent fragrance. So while it's in liquid form in your dish, it's losing all of its fragrance oils. Who knew, right? So that's how come you notice when you turn your wax warmers off and then you turn them on the next day, you're noticing that scent isn't nearly as strong, because while it is still liquid, it's losing all of its fragrance oils. So ours will go back to a solid state in about 3 minutes, which means you're losing very little fragrance time. When they're made, the wax chunks take about a half hour to 45 minutes, even to an hour, to harden in the warehouse that they're being made in. So you're losing all of that scent. Ours harden in 30 seconds. I was actually there and watched them. They drop them on the little conveyor. They roll down to the end. It takes 30 seconds. They're put into a box. They're put on a shelf for when they need to make jars. So ours harden in 30 seconds. You're losing 30 seconds of scent time in the warehouse. And here's something that a lot of people don't know about a candle. You know how like when it gets down about halfway, you're like, doggone, I'm not really smelling that candle anymore. That's because they start with this much of very low fragranced wax, and then they fill the remainder with the strong smelling wax, and then they put another thin layer of very faint smelling wax on the top. So and then it takes hours to harden. So while it's hardening in the candle jar, it's losing all of that scent. So then when they give it to you, or when you buy it, you get down to about here, you hit that wax that has like almost no smell. And the reason they do that is because when you get to here, they want you to throw it away and go buy a new one. Who knew? I learned all this when I went to the warehouse to see how sprinkles were made, and it was very fascinating to me. So this is a greener, cleaner product. Amazing way to smell your house. Our founders actually used to make the candles for Bath & Body Works and Pier 1. So they know all about fragrances. And they know just how much fragrance they can put into each tiny little sprinkle. This is a sprinkle. Do you see how small that is? I could send you 6 of these in the mail, and you would smell them as soon as you open your mailbox. Like I can smell that right now. It's just one. But they have crammed as much fragrance oil as they could possibly get into each tiny little sprinkle, because their philosophy is there's just not enough smell. No scent is too much. No amount of scent is too much. So they have formulated, they know exactly how much scent they can put into each tiny little sprinkle. So it has to heat to exactly 175 degrees to get to the optimum temperature to melt, so that that soy is forced to release every last little drop of fragrance oils. Now, it only takes about a tablespoon. Smell that. That is this month's Paisley's Pick, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. I'm like salivating. So if you see me drooling, it's because I'm smelling this. So I use about a tablespoon because that's about as much as my husband can handle. I, however, love a lot of smell, so I will load it up early in the morning, turn it on, and then I'll turn it off right when I know he's getting ready to come home, because I can still smell it in the warmer even though it's turned off. You can use anywhere from 1 tablespoon to 3 tablespoons. A tablespoon will last about 20 to 30 hours. 3 tablespoons will last about 5 or 6 days. By the 4th day, I'm getting a little bored with it, and I change it even though I can still smell it. So what I'll do, even though I'm not completely using all the scent out of the wax before I've changed it, I'll harden it, put it in the freezer, pop it out, drop the disc between the liner and the garbage bag in my garbage can, because in the summertime, the garbage can in the kitchen can get that funk. I hate that funk. In fact, I just took out garbage to the garbage can in the garage, and I'm like, it smells bad. So I'm going to take my soaks out there and soak the garbage can in a little bit. But a tablespoon to 3 tablespoons. I recommend starting with a tablespoon and working your way up to the 3, because a lot of people are so used to lower fragrances from the wax melts that when they put in 3 tablespoons, it's like, bam, face full of smell. and it's a little overwhelming. So I recommend that you put in 1 tablespoon first and work your way up, because it's easier to add to it than it is to take away from it. Now, once you're starting to not smell your wax anymore, completely empty your wax burner bowl. You don't want to just keep adding new sprinkles to it, because all you're doing is diluting it. And that would be like you had a pop or a Coke or a Pepsi, or however everybody says it. In the South, I think they say pop. Here we say soda. But it's like you had a glass of Pepsi and you had some ice in it and you were sipping on it. And 3 hours later, you notice all the ice is melted. You take a sip and it's like really watered down and you're like, oh, that tastes horrible. You wouldn't go to the kitchen and fill the rest of that cup up with more Pepsi or Coke. No, you would dump it and get a new glass. So that's basically what you're doing with your wax when it's starting to lose its fragrance. And you say, oh, I'll just add a few more. And that way I only have to add a little bit at a time. You're diluting the new. So this is what my mom used to do. She would take a scoop, and that's a tablespoon. She'd let it melt. And then after a couple days, she wouldn't smell it anymore. So she would only take like this much. And she would add a little bit more to it. And she would do that every couple days. She was like, these things don't last as long as you said. And I'm like, that's because you're diluting the wax. So when you don't really smell it anymore, dump it, completely start over, fill it with fresh, you're good to go. So she's been doing that, and she's like, oh, wow, that's a big difference. So you don't want to dilute your wax down, because you won't get as much fragrance. So that is the history of sprinkles. One of the fun things about it, and I have another carton here next to me. So I want to talk about the Paisley's Pick. I'm going to talk about them real quick because the dog just rang the bell. He has to go out and potty. I told him to ring the bell. So one of the good things about Pink Zebra, I think it's the most fun feature of the product. You can customize and create your own DIY fragrance. Now, how awesome is it when somebody comes to your house and says, oh my God, your house smells amazing. What is that? I want to go get some. And you can say, you can't find that in the store. That's my own recipe. I made that myself. And you're not lying, because that's exactly what you did. So you just take a couple scents together. That actually smells really good. And you mix them. This is this month's and next month's Paisley's Pick. Orange Mango Mai Tai and Water Lotus. Now, you can see that's what I've done with this. This one I called Mermaid Kisses. And it's got a floral, fruity smell. And it's a really nice smell. I should have put that in the warmers this morning, and I put in watermelon and grape bubblegum. It's going to smell like bubblegum up in here. But that's the fun feature of the product, is the ability to customize by combining smells together. And throughout the party, I'm going to be sharing all kinds of recipes. Not all of them are my own creations. We have thousands of consultants in the company, and we all love to play. In fact, some of the recipes will even be recipes that my customers have come up with. So that's the fun part about it. If you come up with an amazing recipe, hey, let me know. I'll create a graphic and I'll be posting it and sharing it with everybody too. We did have a contest on Facebook where everybody was submitting recipes, and some of them are even highlighted on the website, the corporate website. So that was a fun thing. But that is basically the history of Pink Zebra. Or the sprinkles. That's what they were. That's how they work. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. If you're trying to put an order in and it's not quite working right, don't fight with the system. Just let me know and I'll be happy to place an order for you. I don't want you to have to fight with the system, because sometimes it can act a little idiotic. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to let me know. And by the way, just wanted to remind you, I have 3 gifts on the table for the first 3 people that place a $50 plus order before shipping and tax. 3 people will get a free jar from me out of my own stock. And you don't know what you'll get, because I'm a hoarder. So you might get something that is not available anymore, which is like gold. So if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks for watching. Love and Sprinkles.